Hey, yeah, what's up? This disciple Marchello Currence back up in this, rain back up in this. This message is going to be basically about your loyalty to the first generations of African Americans here. Your loyalty to the first generations of African Americans here in America. Okay, first off the rip, I'm just getting straight to the point. You don't have to be loyal to this foolishness out here. God is not calling you and your ancestors is not calling you to be loyal to this foolishness, this black on black crime, this dope selling, all this promiscuous sex and butt clapping and all this stuff that's going on. God is not calling you to uh, be loyal to that. That's what you got to understand. And you still are not an Uncle Tom. You are not a sellout. If you're not, if you disband yourself from foolishness, you don't have to be loyal to foolishness. This is what happened to a lot of African Americans. They feel a sense uh, uh, of obligation to be loyal to all everything and the overall community. Therefore, sidestepping the obvious problems, talking about the obvious problems and everything. They feel that they have to um, be silent about these issues as a sense of loyalty, and that this would be, well, what they're doing would be a sense of loyalty, and it's not. Okay, so basically, in essence, what is going on is people are basically, in essence, just scared to confront the real issues. They're scared of the gangsters. They're scared of the so-called OGs. They're scared of all of them, and they're sitting in they're scared of rejection from their own people. So they don't talk about the issues. They know it's wrong. They know kids being killed and getting by gangbangers. They know that's wrong. They know all this stuff that's going on with people overdosing. Some of it intentional, probably, most likely. All of this is in just the deterioration of the whole black community from drugs. They know it's all wrong, but they will not say anything because they feel like that would be being disloyal. They feel like they will be rejected from their people. So their loyalty is not to, in my opinion, the first generations of African Americans that were here. Like, obviously, the slaves, the very first generation, the African American slaves that were brought through this slave trade here to America, and the civil rights generation. You know, they're not loyal to that. Okay, because they're not they you got to remember, Martin Luther King Jr. did not see gang banging. Gang banging was not here when Martin Luther King Jr. was alive. Okay, Bob Marley did not see gang banging. So you cannot place your perspective on how they would feel about it because they're not here to speak for themselves. We don't know if they would have totally rejected everybody here. Let's put it like this. It definitely will be, they definitely will have a problem with the gang banging, the crack selling, and all the black on black crime. Remember, Martin Luther King Jr. did not see black on black crime. Let me say that again. Martin Luther King Jr. did not see black on black crime. Malcolm X did not see black on black crime. So who are you to try to place a positive, loyal perspective on those men towards you when they can't speak for themselves and you know that they are not for the deterioration of the African American community? How can you put a positive positive response from them on the negative things you're doing. When you know they will have no positive things to say about that foolishness. So what is happening is the light is going to go off in people's head and they're going to realize I need to be loyal to the first generations of African Americans and leave these other people that's here alone because they have betrayed the whole purpose, the whole mission. We can't pull you along forever, man. We can't pull you along forever. I can't haul you dead weight, spiritual dead weight, political dead weight, and social dead weight forever. It's the worst dead weight of all. Black on black crime. That's the worst dead weight in America. Boom. And like I said, you didn't see Martin Luther King Jr. respond to black on black crime, the crack epidemic. You didn't see Malcolm X respond to the crack epidemic. You didn't get any quotes from them. You didn't get any quotes from Bob Marley on the crack epidemic. But yet you got the shirts on, but yet you got your mouth closed concerning black on black crime. I don't think you have the right to wear the shirts. Those men were all positive. Let's keep that in mind. That's why there's becoming a great divide, even now today, between the Negro that's loyal to the first generations of African Americans and the Negroes that's loyal to the present day generations of African Americans. It can no longer be a mixture. We don't have no mixture in nothing else. OGs and gangbanging and OGs, even though I'm totally against that, OGs and gangbanging and all these people in prison, there's a zero tolerance for certain things, for mixtures, fakeness. And then we come to a place, now we're in a place where people try to run out and go downtown and go and protest about black on black, a cop shooting. They'll protest about a cop shooting, but be like a mute when they get back to the ghetto. You're a mute in the ghetto about people being killed every day, but you make completely significant, overly significant, the killing of one African American by cops. When black people are being killed every day, every month in the hood. But you don't hold no protest about that. And you know why you don't? Because you're scared of the rejection of your people. You feel obligated to be loyal to the foolishness. Yeah, that's the facts. Look, we could either be like kids crying, scared to get a whooping. You know how kids are when they know they're gonna get a whooping. No. But your mom or your dad is still gonna give it to you. You are just like kids begging for mercy not to get a whooping. Because Martin Luther King Jr., I guarantee you, he will have a mouthful to say about the foolishness that's going on right now. I know he would have a mouthful to say. Because this is the same man that said, let us not be judged. Let black people, the black nation not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. Okay, so he paved the road that in America, you could not be judged by the color of your skin, but by the content of your character. Okay, so, but you mess it up because the content of your character is jacked up. So the only road that you got of being taken seriously in America, you even messed that up. They already don't take you seriously no matter what you do because the color of your skin. Now they don't take you seriously because of the content of your character. Martin Luther King Jr. made it clear that a man of color can articulate himself properly and see how humanity should interact, properly. He's seen how the human family should interact. So Martin Luther King Jr. would sit back. Imagine if somebody paved the way. Put yourself in his shoes. He paved the way that you would not be judged by the color of your skin, but by the content of your character. Okay? He made that way. Then turn around 30, 40, 50 years later, you got it all jacked up where your character, you're not taking advantage of the fact that your character can get you to a place of freedom and success. Or to be, let's just put it like this, your character can get you taken seriously as a human being. Your character he paved the way so that your character could be taken seriously as a human being. Okay? So it's not somebody sitting back and it's easy to sit back and be critical of the person that is trying to point out things like this. It's easy to be critical. Instead of being critical, won't you just listen? It doesn't matter. Like I told people, the black people need to know this. Look, you should be able to get criticism from your enemies. You should be able to get knowledge and information from your enemies, because your enemies are going to look for flaws in you. That's what my enemies do. My enemies look for flaws in me, even though I'm working on myself all the time. Your critics are going to look for flaws in you. Your critics are going to look and see where you're wrong, where you're not paying attention, because you're steady accepting each other. But your critics is not thinking about none of that. They're not thinking about how y'all do this and do that and the little things that you do. They're not thinking about that. They looking at this. They looking at the aha situation. They on the aha factor. They on the aha dynamic, while you're sitting up there trying to pull things together. So they are basically a filter for you. They're working for you, showing you where your flaws are at. But instead of looking at it like that, what you do is sit back and you form a critical eye to the person that has a critical eye towards you. Instead of just sitting back like a man or a woman and say, give me what you got. I want to hear what you got to say. That's tough skin. Yeah. So that's so for people to know, okay, let me explain something about me. My track record is I have had a Black Panther call my mom a nigger. I guess that certifies me enough, right? Okay? That certifies me enough. As retarded as that sounds, I think that certifies me enough to speak. I think that gives me a pass. What you think? A black man also told me to go back to my own home country. A black man now. That's the last word should come out of his mouth. And let's address this. It's easy to say those people were mentally sick, but I haven't really seen too many mentally, even though people could be mentally sick, black people, they ain't gonna be racist towards other black people. They might not like white people, but they're not gonna be racist towards black people. So is racism really mental sickness? It's hate. I wouldn't say it's necessarily mental sickness. But um, I just need to let people know. If people see, that's how bad things are. It's so bad that now people have to, and you have to accept this. Okay, everything is out of control. This is also out of control. This is also chaos. The chaos is right here also, where now the Negro has to choose to be loyal to past generations and purposes, because now the present generations are MIA, missing in action, or dead on arrival. Now this person is alone in the world because they have totally aborted mission. They have totally started fighting against each other. Remind you, like I said, MLK, Malcolm X did not see generations of black on black crime. They did not sit before black on black crime. Okay? This is what you got to remember. This is things that they're not telling you. This is things that you need to think about. Okay, so while you're looking at your greatest leaders thinking they're shining down on you, you're not considering that they have not seen the state that you're presently in. They have not responded and lectured and rebuked you and corrected you like they would have, because now, who has credibility? If they don't have credibility, who has the courage to sit up and talk? They would have. They would have had the courage to stand before everybody and talk about all these issues, but you don't have them here. So you really don't know how it would be. Your relationship with them would be, how your relationship with your leaders would be. But you think they're shining down on you. You think they're shining down on you, and because that's just, it's almost like how people feel about everybody going to heaven. Everybody doesn't deserve to be in heaven, out here acting crazy and shady and doing all these crazy things. How's a spirit like that going to ascend to heaven? That's why hell makes perfect sense. A spirit like that cannot rest in heaven. Tell me these people out here acting crazy and watching people and stalking people. You think a spirit like that is going to ascend to heaven? What kind of sense does that make? Okay? So, this is what I'm telling you. You as African Americans, the good ones, the good-hearted ones, the ones that's really pure and sweet, loving, good people, you don't have to be loyal to the foolishness that's going on right now. You don't have to be loyal to the craziness that's going on in the black community. God is not holding you responsible to be loyal to that. He's not holding you to be loyal to people that hold silence to black children being killed. He's not holding you to be loyal to neighborhoods that are in complete silence when children are killed, when innocent black people are killed, when teenagers are killed, innocent good kids are killed, innocent good black people robbed and killed. He's not holding you responsible to be loyal to that. All you have to do is to be loyal to the first generations, which means strive for that cause, strive for that purpose, but you got to do everything. You can't. It's no movements like that anymore. This is part of the fall. This is all part of the destruction. We can't have when destruction comes, nothing is in place. You understand? So the more you sift through all of these issues, you're realizing, wow, that's not in place. That's not in place. We can't do that. It's all out of whack. So now you have to go solo. Not thinking about no movements, not trying to join no movements, not trying to join the hot thing that's going on, not listening to any of these leaders, because none of these leaders are talking about black on black crime like they should be. Everybody talking about do better. That's the biggest word, sound bite everybody got. while they're not doing better, and they're killing kids and babies. And then want to go downtown and protest in every great metropolis, but overlooking their own wickedness of killing each other, the very same thing. So what's worse? Somebody that lives in a black neighborhood killing black people and kids, or a cop that's already ostracized from it and alienated from it, and just works in it and kills somebody doesn't live in the same neighborhood or nothing? What's worse? What's worse? The person that lives in the neighborhood that kill you, or the person that's outside the neighborhood that don't know how you act, don't know what you're like? I'm not justifying it. I'm not saying they're right. I'm not saying that. However, people that's in your neighborhood shouldn't be killing you. People that's in your neighborhood should not be gunning down your children. People that know your struggle and know what it's like to go hungry and know what it's like to be on food stamps and know what it's like to wear wet clothes outside should not be around here killing you. That's worse. And yet you do not protest it. Yet you do not protest when these children, I sit back and watched you. Not one protest when these little kids getting killed. You more worried about a pedophile than you're worried about these gangbangers killing your kids. How pathetic is that? You sitting up worried about somebody that possibly touched your kids, that did, but you letting the gangbanger that killed the kid and the kid got no chance of recovery or nothing because it's in the grave, the kid is in the grave. You give that person a break. You charge that to the gang. You charge that to the gang. Oh, that's the gang. No. People make the game. The game don't make people. It always been that way. You can't play me with that little term. I see all the way through that. The people make the game and they make the rules. That's why we got to start holding OGs. All these people say they OGs and extorting everybody that come in their hood. How come you ain't checking these people that's killing these kids and when they do wrong gangbanging? When gangbanging goes wrong. When gangbangers go wild. When gangbangers go wild, how come the OGs ain't checking it? I mean, making some serious examples. Because it has to be real consequences for people to change their behavior. We know this from a life of crime. If there's no real consequences, crime is going to go up. If there's no real consequences for what's done to your people by your people, then the situation is going to escalate. It's going to escalate because there's no real consequences, and they're already thinking about the consequences before they even do it. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do this. I'm gonna have to do this. I'm gonna have to, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have to relocate and this and that. And everybody's good. Their family's good and everything. Yeah. You have mutated the whole principle of not talking about crimes and things like that and not being in people's business. You have mutated that. That your principle of non-snitching and not talking, you have mutated that to the point where you're mute when it comes to even children being killed. That's a mutated principle of snitching. You ain't even talking about what's going on with the kids. Let's say you don't even talk about it. Let's talk about the actions. Your actions, you have no actions also with handling what happened concerning the kids. Okay, it's one thing, okay, we ain't gonna talk to the police, but we gonna handle it. But you don't do that. You don't handle it. So Even your corresponding actions is mutated. You not talking about it is mutated to me, not talking it to someone, not talking about it at all. Because if you was talking about it to the right people, then examples will be made and the standard would be raised. So you're not talking about it to even the people in the hood. Y'all not talking like saying, oh, well, we need to go do something about that. Y'all not saying nothing. There's none of that because nothing is being done. So there's no dialogue. So the mouth part, the verbalization part is mutated and your actions are mutated. So I hold loyal to the first generations, and I don't have to be loyal to this that's going on. And I don't feel like an Uncle Tom. I don't feel like a sellout. Some would say that you're the sellout. You're killing each other. Some would say that's the sellout.